So Josh from Destined for Wild here. Today we're going to install a snorkel on our 80 series landcruiser. So just kind of follow along with us. The stock intake, the AIRBOX, because essentially what we will be doing is the stock air box intakes air from the rear or from the right fender. So in adding a snorkel, what that's doing is it's moving where the air is coming from. So rather than sucking air in from the fender well, we'll be sucking it in from the roof. So that gives two different options. So one, it turns into a snorkel, obviously, so you can go into water, and it keeps air out of your air intake system, which is ideal. We're hopefully not planning on going through water, but this gives us the option if we need to. As well as what this does, it allows clean air to be sucked in from above, because I'm sure, as most people probably figure out, when you're driving, dirt and dust kind of goes up around the tires and into the wheel wells, and that's where it's sucking the air from. So this just allows the air intake to suck in cleaner air. So right now what I'm doing, I am just removing the stock air intake, because we'll be splicing in the snorkel to that, so that we can suck the air from above rather than below. This is the stencil for where the lines need to be drilled to fit the snorkel. One thing that often comes recommended is, unfortunately, very often, depending on the snorkel you buy, the stencil isn't very accurate for where the holes actually need to be drilled. So one thing that's good to do is always double check the stencil on the backing of your snorkel to figure out where the air intake needs to be able to go, and then where the new bolts will be going, so everything can fit in correctly. Otherwise, I remember when I was doing measuring, if you time to come and look over here, 3 of the holes lined up with the air intake, where these 3 were off by just like fractions of an inch. So if you would have just drilled anyways, it would have not lined up correctly. So in doing this, you're making sure that all the lines will line up properly. So we did that yesterday. I didn't film that because it didn't feel like it. So now we're just kind of taping the stencil down and mapping everything out, so we know where the holes and everything need to be drilled in order to fit where we need to go. So now what we're doing, I'm now drilling the holes in for where the mounting brackets are going to go, and then I'll be drilling the holes for where the air intake is supposed to go, so then everything can line up for where it's supposed to mount properly. So this is never really a fun feeling, but you kind of just gotta go for it. Just pick your first one and get it done. So our hole saw broke, because for this you need to drill a 4-inch hole saw, and me being cheap, I was like, oh, you know what, like, I'll just buy the cheapest one I can, and it actually broke maybe a quarter of the way into this. So I ended up just having to take smaller bits, drill the whole hole roughly, and now I'm filing it down. I was going to file it anyways just to smooth off the edges, but now we have kind of a janky hole that I'm now smoothing off, hoping to get into a good spot where the snorkel can now fit. So thing to learn from this, don't cheap out on tools even if you just need to use them once. Because yeah, this is now taking a lot longer because I was dumb and decided just to buy the cheaper one instead. So now we're just drilling the holes for where the top mounting is going to go. So you have to just mount it into your A-pillar for where the rivets will go.
So we ended up having to remove the AIRBOX to make room for Josh's arms trying to install the bolts. It took a lot longer than we thought, and actually Josh was out in the rain for probably over an hour trying to get this to work. But eventually we got it on, including the rubber elbows afterwards. And there you have it, a brand new snorkel installed to our landcruiser. We hope this was helpful for you in case you're wanting to install one onto yours.